Toast and Jam back for another episode. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your company, even yours.
Oh, me?
Yes, you. I'm Tim Ost, known as Toast. Here he is, Paul McDonald, known as Jam.
And a pleasant good day to you, sir.
That's how we got the Toast and Jam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Toast and Jam is presented by Valley City State University. We broadcast from the Rhodes Science Center. We're on the floor with all the birds.
And the eggs.
And the eggs. Our guest this week is VCSU baseball coach Alec DeMaria. DeMaria. Okay.
Yeah.
Close.
That's all right.
Close. Better than most announcers get it in the field. Much better.
Sure. And maybe called worse, too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Before we talk to Alec, let's get a recap some of last week's sports. And Paul McDonald.
We'll go fast here because there was a lot of Valley City State men and women. They were out in Montana against Providence and Montana State Northern. The women split for the weekend. Lost to Providence, but then beat Montana State Northern, which was a little bit of an upset. They were one of the top teams in the conference, and it was a big win for them to keep them in the hunt as far as getting into the postseason. Top 8 go. They're right now 10th, and they're equal with Bellevue and the Bismarck State College, and they've got BSC coming up this Saturday, so this is a big game for the women on Saturday. They got Dickinson State Friday and Bismarck State on Saturday. Men's basketball, they got swept this weekend, but a tough one against Providence on Friday night. Lost on a buzzer beater. Well, it wasn't a buzzer beater. There was 9/10 of a second left when a three-pointer was hit by Providence. Lost 90-89, and then lost to a very good Montana State Northern team on Saturday. They are right now in 8th place. So right now they are in that on that bubble, and they have got Providence is on their heels and Dickinson State. And they play Dickinson State Friday. So a big weekend for the men and women to try to get into that postseason tournament. Softball, they were in Jamestown at the Nelson family bubble. Played 4 games. They lost both games on Saturday to Providence and Jamestown. Split with UMary on Sunday. Baseball went 2-2 this weekend. We'll talk more about that with Coach DeMaria coming up here. They were at Dakota Wesleyan and Mitchell. Lost both games on Saturday, then came back and swept the Tigers on Sunday. Track, they were at the Bison Open, 16 personal records, and the distance medley relay team took 3rd place. They will be in South Dakota at Brookings for a meet this weekend. They got the conference meet next week. And the Highliners, the girls, that train just keeps on rolling. Went 3-0 this week, winning last night 76-40 over Northern Cass. They got Oak Grove and Carrington on Thursday and Friday this weekend to wrap up the regular season. More on all that stuff coming up here in a little bit. Basketball boys, they were swept. They were swept this week. Lost Northern Cass last night, 61-50. They've got Oak Grove here on Friday. Wrestling, regionals, duels. The girls took 5th. They had a chance to get to state because if the 5th place team and the 4th place team had not wrestled yet, then they had a true 4th, and they lost 42-36 to Pembina North, the top seed. Lost to them 42-36 in that true 4th match. But they've got the regionals now for the girls individuals on Friday at the Hack. And lastly, the boys lost to South Border, then beat Lemoore Litchfield Marion, and then lost to Oaks in the 5th place match. So the teams are done, but now they've got individual regionals this weekend. And that
take a breath
is what's going on with sports. It is a busy time of year, man.
It is, yeah.
And golf is getting started for Valley City State. Coach Haas had his crew up their first practice on Monday at the simulator. So they are getting ready to grow.
Yeah, I've been simulating a lot. 3 times a week.
Well, that's
At
good.
least an hour and a half. Still can't improve.
No.
I still got the baseball swing.
Yeah. There you go.
You know, it's funny how baseball players think they're golfers. Doesn't always work.
Hockey players make better golfers.
Hockey players are the golfers, yes, definitely. Again, thank you, Paul. How do we check out Toast and Jam again?
We go to Spotify, you go to Apple Podcast, and, of course, on the Valley City State University YouTube page as well, toastandjam.com. So, and again, when you go to those pages, make sure you subscribe. Don't just like, but subscribe, because every time there's a new episode dropping, you will get notified that your muchly anticipated Toast and Jam episode is ready to go.
And you can always go back.
And you can always go back, absolutely.
Had a good one last week, too, you know.
We've had a lot of good ones here as of late. Yep, absolutely.
We'll get another one lined up right here.
Absolutely.
Going to talk about one of my favorite sports. That is baseball. Baseball been very, very good to me, yes. Our guest this week, Alec DeMaria, Can you give us a little background about yourself?
Yeah.
Quick background, maybe?
Yeah, of course. And I'm excited to be here, Tim and Paul. It should be a good time. I've got a little bit of a background doing stuff like this. When I was at UMary, I would, as a student playing baseball, I got paid a little bit as a student worker to do all the sports pretty much as the color commentator, and then we would do some podcast stuff as well. And it was challenging sometimes. I was from California, which I guess a little bit of the background. I didn't know a whole lot about hockey. Then you get thrown right into ABCA club hockey where nobody's got names on their backs and the numbers blend in with the jerseys and you're trying to see the shifts go in and out.
And it's a faster sport
And
than
it's
baseball.
fast. Yeah, I was not ready for that. But I'm originally from Fresno, California. That's where I was born and raised. I came out to play at the University of Mary. Played there for 4 years. Got my first pitching coaching job at Minnesota Crookston. Was there for 2 years. And then I went over to Dakota State University. That's how I got into this conference and into the NAIA. And was there for another 2 years. And then I came to Valley City State, which I'm now in my third year, and moved in now, finally, all the way, and really, really happy and enjoy the community and the school.
And a family?
One wife.
Only one wife?
Wow.
One.
I meant to say a wife and one son. My apologies. One wife and one son.
And
Yes.
I would imagine he's going to be a ball player, too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say that too early. My wife was a tennis player at UMary, so I'm sure he'll have a racket in his hand too, and we play tennis a decent bit. So.
Yeah, baseball players are pretty good tennis players, too. Eye-hand coordination, pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. What position did you play?
I was a pitcher.
You were a pitcher, yeah.
Yep.
You said that. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, let's just talk about this year, Alec. Of course, 3-2 in the fall. Got 5 games in, and actually did better than all the North Dakota schools there in your fall league. Went 3-2 and did pretty well. How were you? Not surprised, but just happy with the way your team played in those 5 games during the fall season?
I was. We started off poorly. I think all of our guys would say our first game just didn't go quite so smooth. We had a pitcher go out there who's been one of the best in the conference for 2 years and just had not a good couple innings to start his fall. We didn't play in the fall last year, and then after that, we only dropped one the rest of the way. We had a win against a team that was in the national tournament last year, which I know you're a Dickinson alum, so I hate giving them that props, but we had a really competitive doubleheader with them where we split, and then we took the remaining game from both Bismarck and Mayville, and we pitched really, really well, and just kind of did a lot of the things that we've been trying to preach for the last couple of years. We beat people methodically, especially at the end there. It wasn't a flashy 4 home runs and winning a 12-10 game. We got people on. We were able to get over either by sacrificing them over or taking the bases ourselves. We limited strikeouts. We were able to put balls in gaps, play really good defense. We didn't make a single fielding defensive error the entire fall outside of one pop-up, so nothing in the infield like ground balls where you expect it. And we pitched really, really well, and that led to us having a good fall. And then that continued in the 4 games we just played. We just got off to a cold start on the first day, lost 2 one-run games, and then bounced back.
Let's talk about your team.
Yeah.
The seniors, how many seniors? You got a lot of kids back?
Yeah, we have 11 seniors. We have 17 total letter winners returning from last year and a few more just total returners as well. And the NAI in baseball, you've got to get to 20%. So if you don't appear in 11 games, if you do 10 or less, which for pitchers happens quite a bit, the year actually doesn't count against you eligibility-wise. So we have a few that pitched in 5 or 6 games and just didn't quite have the year. But 17 letter winners. I don't have the total number of returners exactly. But, yeah, a very veteran team, but still a lot of freshmen playing. And, the first year I got here in July, so we didn't really have a recruiting class that year. Had some great freshmen that were already signed, which I'm very appreciative of that I get to coach. But this is only the second recruiting class that we've had come in. So we're still pretty young. We do have a decent amount of seniors, but like the pitchers we rolled out, the oldest one was a junior. There's only 2 sophomores, and the other 5 were either freshmen or redshirt freshmen this weekend. So still very, very young, but less young, which is exciting.
Teams always look for leaders, and who's going to lead you this year?
Well, we've got a good crew in general, I would say. The way that we run the leadership on our team, we have small groups, and each one has a leader within the small group. We try and expand so that more people can be put into leadership roles without throwing them to the fire and saying you got to lead 40 guys and we're picking you as captain. But at the end of the day, somebody always comes through, 1 or 2 guys. And, Caden Rosedeba is a senior. He's very vocal leader. He's always on task, and he understands what we want done. Connor Hoyt from Jamestown has been very good in that role. And then on our pitching staff, Takeo Cookson does a really good job. And, he's leading by example. He always has. He's put his head down and worked, but now he's also starting to lead with his voice, which is pretty cool.
When you talk about recruiting, Alec, what do you look for in a player? I know you're a pitcher, so do you look for guys that are going to throw strikes? Do you look at guys that are going to throw hard? What kind of things do you look at when you're recruiting?
Well, from the character side, we're definitely looking for people that are going to work hard. You know, they're tough, but also coachable. Because the way that the way that our school operates and the constraints and things that we have as a program, which every program has, it's not a complaint. Every program in the country has a method in which they need to work, both finances and location and all those things, facilities to make everything work well. Everywhere has a recipe where they can win. Ours needs to have a lot of freshmen. That's just the way that it is. We can't get into bidding wars for a bunch of transfers. We just couldn't do that year in and year out. And so we typically do bring in more freshmen. And so that means that the coachability part and that toughness part is really important because we got to develop them. And from the pitching standpoint, which you were kind of mentioning, we've transitioned just a little bit. So when I was at Dakota State, I was also a recruiting coordinator and I was the pitching coach. And, we actually had a staff the year before I came here. We had, I think it was the third lowest ERA in the country and led the country in several statistics. We did that in a completely way then that you're seeing our pitchers here succeed right now. I kind of, the way Major League Baseball trends, there's usually about a year difference between when those trends hit Division I college baseball, and there's about a 2 to 3 year trend, at least to me, that's my belief, that it hits us because we see something go on there. They do it at the Division I level, and then it's more of the training, right? So a few years ago, I don't know if you noticed in Major League Baseball, everybody seemed to be throwing 103 miles an hour out of nowhere. I'm not saying the guns were juiced, that they were using, I'm not saying anything like that, but they were throwing really, really hard. And that trend, they were training for it, they were looking for it, and it worked. That's why they had to change rules. People were pitching too well. And so then that trickled down, and when I was at Dakota State, we tried to have the hardest throwing pitching staff we could. We looked for it, we trained it, and it was really, really successful. At that point in time, if you threw above a certain speed, it was going to work. And you were just going to get people out. If you could throw a first strike, obviously.
Right.
We've transitioned a little bit, and I think back then people didn't throw hard. Now everybody is a little bit behind that curve of trying to throw really hard at our level, and we're looking for the best possible secondary pitch that we can find. That's the trend I see at the major league level. It's hitting Division I, and we always try and stay a little bit ahead of it in our development. So we got a lot of really good sliders, change-ups. We bring those guys in from the talent standpoint, and then we look to help them throw harder, which we have been pretty successful doing. And then offensively, we're looking for dynamic players. Guys that, we're in North Dakota. The wind could blow in, the wind could blow out. We played at Dakota Wesleyan the other day. The first day, I felt like we were hitting everything to the wall. I felt like we should have won by 12 runs. And, well, it's just caught. You know how it goes. And we need dynamic offensive players. They can play really good defense, but that they can run. They can get a bunt down if needed. They can find their way on base without just needing. If we have a team that's just going to hit 80 home runs, one day in the Midwest, the way you get to 80 home runs is one day you hit 5 into the wind that go out, and the next day you hit 0, even if you hit the same. So we can't play like that all the time and expect to have a consistent, successful team.
Mayville State kind of set the standard for many, many years in this conference. Are they still the team to beat? Or has that standard changed a little bit?
Man, I don't know if I want to get into that one too much. Since I've been here, we've been successful. I'm sure there's records or numbers somewhere out there. We've been really successful against them. That's just been one of the matchups. They've been a lot of close games. Don't get me wrong. We've just won those close games at a high rate. But that's pretty much all I'll say. I've got a lot of respect for Billy over there. We played really, really close games, but no, they are not the standard in our league right now. Bellevue has won it the past several years in a row.
Yeah, and this would have been before the Bellevue years with Scott Berry at the helm. I mean, he had quite a program going there too. What about the recruiting? How is the landscape changing for you as far as everybody else?
A lot because of social media, I would say. So you can't go find a diamond in the rough anymore that nobody's heard about. If somebody in some really small town posted one video, one place of them throwing a ball like 86 miles an hour, they're all of a sudden nationally recruited. So it's become much, much harder to do that. You can't go find the kid just by working really hard that is really good somewhere already from a small town or something like that. The way a lot of the baseball programs in North Dakota were successful finding those kids, right? You can't really do that anymore. You have to go find them before they get good and then help them develop into being really good. And we do have, I think, a couple of the best North Dakota players in the conference on our team right now Grady Shipman and Connor Hoyt. Grady and Connor both had great weekends last weekend. Connor started center field all weekend for us, and he'll continue to as long as healthy. He's a staple in our lineup, one of our leaders, and he's from Jamestown.
Okay.
And Grady is from Carrington, and he pitched a decent bit for us last year. He had a great outing this weekend. He'll be one of our starting pitchers, and he is continuously getting better offensively and defensively too. And he got a few at-bats this past weekend working his way. He's a sophomore from Carrington. His dad was a longtime baseball coach there, very successful. And it's always nice to have people like that know the sport. So.
Yeah. Do you get help in recruiting from like former players or people that you played with or relatives?
Yeah,
saying, hey,
no.
you got to take a look at this guy.
They're reaching out all the time. I think the one that's been the most helpful has been Jackson is on our team right now, Jackson Penner, but Bud Penner in Manitoba has been extremely helpful. That's recruiting. We've gotten a lot of players from Manitoba and Saskatchewan. We have several from South Dakota, Montana, Minnesota. So we're very regionally based still, just maybe not as in-state based. Yeah. But we've got so many players from within 4 hours where you'll see their parents at the games, and it's nice to have that. It's nice to have that.
In today's world, with the teams the way they are and the portal and all that good stuff, how do you keep that loyalty with your players?
We're lucky with our guys. Baseball is a little bit different because it's a sport, unlike football, unlike basketball, where scholarships are just typically partial. You don't have millions of dollars of NIL going through Division I either. I mean, even at Division I level, most guys are on either a partial scholarship or a walk-on. So the money hasn't made it as transactional in baseball because it's not a high-profit sport like football is, unless you're in the SEC and you got 13,000 people a night. But at the other levels, even most of Division I, it's just not like that. So that helps, but more so, we just have a loyal group of guys that really. I'm not saying they're loyal to me or to anything in particular. They're really loyal to each other. And that's always really fun to watch, and it's helped this year. I mean, I just have a really good feeling about where we're at right now. Watching our guys bounce back, all we had to talk about was just focus on each other. We don't have to worry about what the other team's doing, what the umpire's doing. Just play with your hair on fire for the guy next to you for 14 innings tomorrow. Let's just see how that goes. That'll take the pressure off, I promise you. If the guy next to you is doing everything he can for you, you do your job. Nobody has to worry about helping do your job. They can just do their job. And that helped us a lot. But from a retention standpoint, we've been really, really good. I mean, almost everybody in a key spot for us is a returner right now.
A dream for every kid is making the bigs. How does a player, or where does he go from here to make the bigs?
There's a lot of avenues now because they've cut the draft in half. It used to be 40 rounds, now it's 20 rounds. So, I mean, I've got players that I've coached at the past several schools. Over the past 7 years, there's quite a few. I've lost count. I think 15 or 16 that have gone on to play professional baseball at some level. But, a lot more guys go through independent leagues, like playing for somewhere like Fargo Moorhead.
Red Hawks.
And then getting signed to an opportunity to get into the minor leagues, affiliate ball, and then working their way up. The draft opportunities, they've gone down so drastically. They've cut minor league teams. Shoot, where I'm from in Fresno, we got a 13,000-seat stadium. It was a AAA beauty for a long time, and now it's just a single-A stadium with 13,000 seats. So just because they cut teams.
Mm. Is that a Giants affiliate?
It was. They had the World Series AAA team when the Giants won the World Series several times, and the Astros. I got to watch a lot of cool things growing up, but now it's for the Rockies.
It's for the Rockies.
Yes.
Okay. And we've talked about newcomers or returners. How about newcomers? Guys that they're on the team that are impacting right away. I know you got Nicholas Sen, the catcher, has really had a good fall, but just some of the newcomers that are helping you out.
Yeah, well, Nick's a good one. He didn't hit the way he would have liked to start in these 4 games, but he threw somebody out in the first 2 innings of the first game, and they just never tried to run again. They realized how good he was, and then the opportunity he got later was he backpicked somebody that I don't know what they were doing out there. I don't know if you watched the replay, but he was savvy enough to pop up and not throw that ball to second base, let the guy get back. He went to first, and it just so quick, you don't have time to run to second. It got to the first baseman, and it was a rundown. But yeah, he's a really good talent back there. And then now I got to go all the way around the infield because we do have a decent amount of really good players that are helping too. At third base, we have a couple returners that's still a positional race going on, but Jackson Penner and Filippo Vendetti are new over there, competing with a couple guys that are returners, and they're going back and forth right now. And then in the outfield, Connor Hoyt feels like a newcomer because we didn't get him last year. You know, he was the region player of the year in Minnesota for junior college baseball in the MCAC in Region 13. And then he got here and he was just hurt last year. He took a medical red shirt. Well, the form of what the NAIA calls a medical red shirt now. So he feels like one. But on the mound, we've got Easton Francis pitched for us in Game 4 there. Had a great first inning, and we know what we're going to get from him. We know that he can be really successful. And then I could go down the list. There's several more, but it is a returner-heavy team.
Yeah.
It's just still a young team.
Right, and you need that nice mix to make a team work.
Yeah. And Evan Gonzalez started 2 games for us at DH over the weekend. He's from the same school as Nick in California.
Okay.
Sequoias, yep.
So what was the weather like last weekend down in South Dakota?
First day was cold. I was trying to convince.
Was it above?
Charlie's a good friend of mine, and I was trying to push him to go Sunday, Monday, so we could play in the beautiful, beautiful weather. But we played Saturday, and it was chilly the first day. It was windy, and it was just one of those days, like I was saying, the ball wouldn't go anywhere, no matter what you did. And then the next day was pretty warm. The sun didn't come out till the end, but I mean, I can't complain. It was 50 or higher both days. One day was just a low real feel. So I can't complain right now.
Okay, yeah.
It's
Being a
February.
California kid, you're used to 70s and 80s, you know?
I am, but I'm past that now. I'm past that.
You're a true North Dakotan now. Yes,
Yeah.
very good. What,
Well, Yankton this next weekend. You'll be in Yankton for 3 game series with
3
Mount
games
Marty.
with that Marty. That'll be great. That'll be a good test. I think they were in the GPAC championship game last year, so we're
Okay.
excited for that one.
okay.
And then, of course, the Florida trip coming up the first week in March. You've got the one thing I was going to ask you, that with the Frontier Conference, there's no Montana schools that have a team. The Frontier Conference is the North Star.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
It's basically it's all the teams that came from the North Star that make up the Frontier Conference, and we'll be in Sioux Falls for the conference tournament or preseason tournament.
Yes.
In coming up March 20th and 21st. Is that odd to be in a new conference that you're seeing the same teams? Or good because it's familiarity?
It's good on the budget. I'm sure Coach Mack would tell you that right away. It's good on the budget. We don't have to travel all the way to Montana a bunch of times.
No flights.
No flights other than we only fly to Florida. So, if you started adding more and more trips to conference for baseball, that would get really expensive. We already have to travel to play early in the season. And frankly, that's a disadvantage people don't think about. We go down there and play, and almost everybody we play has been outside for at least some period of time because we're playing on their field most likely. So they've been outside for some period of time. Even Dakota Wesleyan had 6 I think he said 6 practices outside. And so, you get out there, that first day is just a little bit clunky. The pressure's on. And then not only the fly balls in the air, but just the hitters seeing the ball in space versus seeing it inside the tunnel. It's just different,
Yeah.
And it's all about sight. It's all about the eyes and hitting. You got to make reactions in a millisecond. But the conference, it's been extremely competitive. And, it's so much better than it was 2 or 3 years ago. When I think back to the year, I was at Dakota State at the time, but the year before I came to Valley, we had a conference with 8 teams. We had a team go winless. So you're talking about, I don't want to say free wins, but you're talking about a team that didn't win a game. We were the next team up. We had a handful of wins. Then you had Viterbo, who, they were down there. Waldorf, I think, was in 5th, but they weren't. None of those teams were competing for the top 2 or 3 spots in the conference at that point in time. And then all of a sudden, they're all just gone. And the only people that are still there are everybody in the top half. And so that conference, yes, we didn't add the Montana schools, but it got challenging. And last year, we just added Jamestown. So, our start to conference play last year, I think we're 17 and 15 or 16 and 14, something like that going into conference play. And then we went nationally ranked team for a series, 30-win team to start conference play for the first 12. And we lost a lot of close games, and it felt like we were so close, but it's like, man, this just totally changed. Because for a while, too, before Coach Hardy got to Dakota State and did a great job, they were winning like 5 games a year, if that. And so, you were able to run the table against the bottom in this conference for a long time and then get to the teams that are really challenging. And so our strength of schedule has jumped so much. Last year, we played 19 games against teams that were in the national tournament at the end of the year. The 4 years prior, we played 14 total. So it's just completely changed. So it's so much more challenging, but it's really fun. Like, you want to coach in the best conferences.
Yep.
And so this is helping us too with the Frontier name to get more respect. That was one of the things the North Star, it just didn't garner the same respect. Even though it's the same teams, people have more eyes on it now, and they see the baseball we're playing, and they're seeing us go down and beat teams from other conferences. Even when we had our struggles a little bit last year, we still, I think when we were in Florida, we took 2 out of 3 games in a series against the champion of the Chicagoland, and we beat other teams that were 30, 35 wins in their respective conferences. So.
Alec, how about goals for this year?
Well, I mean, we come in and we want to win the conference. I think the first couple years I got here, that was a mistake I probably made, was I said, let's have realistic goals. You know, we're playing much harder teams. We're coming off of I think it was a 13-win season at that point. Let's set realistic goals. And I regret that a little bit, because I think in your mind, it handicaps you. I don't know if that affected the way we were going into games against the top teams. I needed to instill different belief in them from the beginning of the season outlook. So everything is just, you know, if we get second place, are we going to be angry? I don't know. We'll see how that goes at the end of the year. But, I mean, we're set out to do everything that we can, believe that we can beat anybody that we play and win the conference. So.
Very good.
Can't wait.
One game at a time, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, always.
I've already said that too many times. One inning at a time, one pitch at a time.
Yeah, there
Yep,
you go.
yep.
Exactly. Well, Alec, thanks you so much. We're going to do some other sports. Some other sports headlines. Super Bowl 60. Who'd you pick in that one?
My wife is born in Boston, so I did not have a choice. It was the Patriots. But I used to really not like them, and now I can appreciate them a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A couple of former NDSU players earning more rings to their fingers. It's pretty cool. You get teammates on a Super Bowl team in a small college like NDSU. That's pretty cool, I think. And speaking of NDSU, they're off to the west, kind of like Valley City State to the west. Moving up to the FBS, the Mountain West Conference. $17 million was the price tag. $17 million. And now you throw travel into that, too. Wow. Deep pockets, I guess, in Fargo. Is this a good move for them?
Well, I just hope the fan base for North Dakota State is ready for a couple, 2-3 seasons of 5-7, 6-6, 7-5.
It's not going to be unbeaten all the time now.
And James Madison, you know, they took a couple of years, 2-3 years, and now they're getting there. And so it's going to be a patience thing. I might be wrong. Maybe they'll come in there and be gangbusters. I don't think they will be. I can see, you know, a couple of. I don't think they'll be like 4-8, 3-9. I don't know. They're not going to be
500 maybe.
Yeah, they'll be a 500 club, and but fan base, be ready for that. Don't expect to come in there and be playing on ESPN on the middle of January right away in the first year. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no kidding. Winter Olympics underway.
Yep.
U.S. curling team is up for a gold. They've never won a gold. They've never won I don't think they've ever won anything.
A medal. No.
A medal.
No.
In curling. So are you a curler?
No.
You don't curl your hair?
No. Big hockey game today. USA Canada women at 1:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, both are pretty good.
Yeah.
That should be interesting. And Scotty Scheffler is human. Guy almost won it though. He was down by like over 10 strokes. And almost won the Waste Management Golf Tournament. He kind of owns that tournament anyway, but wow. Unbelievable. He is human, I guess. Sports birthday. Or no, let's do the Today in History first. Alec, you'll appreciate this, being a pitcher. On this day, 1920, baseball outlaws all pitches involving tampering the ball. Do they still do it?
Oh, heck yeah.
We don't. No.
No. I mean,
I've checked one pitcher in 5 years, and the umpires I don't think know what it looks like anymore, because I don't think it's done a lot. No, fortunately.
Yeah. On this day, 1968, American two-time world champion Peggy Fleming comfortably wins the Olympic women's figure skating gold. No, she was not a man.
No.
Women's figure skating gold medal at the Grenoble Winter Games. On this day, 1969. Alec, I know this is way before your time, but this guy was pretty incredible. Louisiana State University's Pete Maravich, they called him Pistol Pete, scores 66 despite his team losing to Tulane 101-94. 66. 1989, Celtic Casey Jones and Cavalier Lenny Wilkins elected to the NBA Hall of Fame. On this day, 1992, speed skater Bonnie Blair wins the first gold medal for the U.S. at the Winter Olympics. Some of the history. Not a lot, but some. Sports birthdays today. Allie Reynolds. Does that name ring a bell?
Allie Reynolds,
Allie
ball
Reynolds.
player,
Yeah.
baseball,
Yankees. Okay.
Yeah.
Baseball pitcher who won 6 World Series as a Yankee.
Mm-hmm.
6-time MLB All-Star. Passed away in 1994. I don't remember Allie Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. I got several of his cards.
Mark Spitz is 76 today.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't too impressive, was he?
No.
No. 7 Olympic golds in 1972. California kid. Greg Norman is 71 today. He's a golfer, Australian golfer. 1963 on this day, Lenny Dykstra was born.
Mm-hmm.
Center fielder, Mets, Philadelphia. And born on this day in 1966, Darrell Johnston.
The fullback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, yeah. In about 3 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Joke of the day. Should I dig that out?
If you'd like.
Okay.
Did the girls send you something today?
I think I had a leftover from last week.
You did have 2.
Yeah.
They did send you 2.
Let me just, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. We do a joke of the day. I have 5 granddaughters that live in Minot. Their parents are both VCSU grads. So they do a joke of the day for me. And the joke of the day today is...
Oh, you lost it. You lost it. There it is.
Oh, here it is. Okay. What had a big mouth but doesn't say a word?
Oh, I got this one last week. I got it right.
You did get this right.
Yeah.
What had a big mouth but doesn't say a word? A river.
A river.
No.
Oh, I was going to say a whale. Gosh dang.
Oh, goodness.
Goodness gracious. That's our joke of the day today. Our thoughts and prayers, too, going to the Hetler family. Bob Hetler passed away this week, and our thoughts and prayers going out to the family there. Bob was with the High School Activities Association for many, many years in the speech and drama and music side of things, and he will be missed.
And music is the hot topic here on campus today. I believe it's the EDC competitions going on here, and so we have students all over campus competing with in music. And one thing a couple of things I want to pass along here. Again, Giving Hearts Day is coming up here on Thursday.
It is.
And let's talk about the VCSU Foundation. If you donate $10 or more to the VCSU Foundation here on givingheartsday.org, your donation will be matched. And they'd like to thank Matt Peterson from Ludwigson, Braun and Company of Valley City for providing that match. And again, the gifts that go here to the foundation help provide scholarships, the bulletin publication, the alumni activities with the VCSU Foundation and Alumni Association. Just go to givingheartsday.org on Thursday and give to the VCSU Foundation, a great organization, of course, led by Corey Anderson and Kim Hesh and
We'll have them
Lori
on later.
Morehouse. Yeah. So it's, and we're going to be talking auction in March because that's coming up here in not too long. So we'll be talking about the auction here on March 17th, St. Patty's Day. We'll be talking about that. And lastly, Highlander and VCSU basketball, Highlander basketball, all these basketball tournaments that are moving around. The Vikings' final 2 home games now for VCSU will be February 20th and 21st at Concordia College. On
Our second home now.
It is, and we do well there. So it's not a bad thing. We've done well at Concordia. Friday night they will play. I believe it's Rocky Mountain on Friday night, 5 and 7. Saturday against Carroll. That will be Senior Day for both the men and women on Saturday, February 21st, and that's 3 and 5. And if you really want to watch some good basketball, prior to that game at noon, Hankinson and Washburn are going to be playing because they were going to play at the Bubble before our games. So now they're going to be playing at Concordia College before the men and women on Saturday the 21st. And, hey, if you're an alum in the Fargo-Moorhead area and you're watching this podcast, come on over to the auditorium and watch your Vikings. It'll be a great weekend. And we are, again, 3 and 5 on Saturday, 5 and 7 on Friday. And lastly, the district and regional basketball tournaments, the tournaments that are supposed to be held at the Bubble, they'll be over at the Hack for Class B District 1 and Class B Region 1. They'll be at the Highland Activities Center February 27th, and then March 3rd and 5th for the District 1 tournament, and then the 9th, 10th, and 12th of March for the Region 1 tournament. And they will be at the Hack, and the Region 1 girls basketball tournament that was to be at the Bubble, that one will be at the Shack. That'll be in Fargo at NDSU, and that's the 23rd, 24th, and 26th. And keep an eye on VCSUVikings.com. We're going to be having all of this stuff that we'll have on our website and updates with releases and so forth to keep track on all the moving pieces that are going on here this month.
Wow.
It's
Try
a
to
fun
keep
time
that all
of year.
straight. It is.
It's a fun time of year.
Tournament time is always my favorite
Yeah.
time of the year. March Madness. Bring it on.
Yep, absolutely. All the sports are going to be going at once, and I love it.
Yeah. We'd like to thank our guest today, Alec DeMaria. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me. I love this stuff. It was a good time. You guys are great.
No, it's a lot of fun. And thank our production team. We got a whole team back there. Mark Potts, thank you so much. And thank you for listening and watching. And again, how do we connect?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Valley City State University YouTube page. And again, like and subscribe to those pages. That is a key. And then anything that's VCSU that we put on that on the YouTube page, you can watch and of course the VCSU Athletics on YouTube as well. And then you can go to tostandjam.com on our website and do it as well.
And like you mentioned, don't forget to give your favorite charity on Giving Hearts Day this Thursday. You know how many charities? Have you ever seen that list on Giving Hearts Day?
Oh, I have. Yes.
Unreal. And that's not all of them.
No.
There are so many of them, but hey, pick a few out.
Yep. And this is not a national thing. This is I think started in Minnesota, but it's a regional a regional day.
It is. I know I did some work with the United Prairie Foundation. I'd never heard of them before, but they're out there.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Hey, have a fantastic week. Toast and Jam saying bye-bye for now.